We spoke in the last class about Eino Milvado, and I'd like to make a caveat, a small addition to this idea. After such a powerful revelation of Hashem's infinite power, and to achieve what seemed impossible, to make a flight when it didn't seem that it was going to happen, saying Eino Milvado hundreds, if not thousands of times. That night I got to Chicago, and I couldn't fall asleep. I was quite sick. It wasn't COVID. I had done a COVID test for Hashem, but I had some sort of nasal infection, and I was coughing and coughing and coughing, and I would lie down and just start coughing, and I was trying to figure out what can I do under these circumstances. Medicines. I had some medicines, Mucidex, and I had some cough drops, and I had some other pills. Nothing was working. I was by the house. By the home was one of the biggest doctors, ENT doctors in the country, but he was nowhere to be found and sleeping. And I was all alone in my bed with trying to figure out what can I do. What possible solution can I have under these trying circumstances of being so sick? And then I realized just a few hours ago, I was trying to make a plane and it looked impossible. And I just kept repeating, Eino Milvado. And Baruch Hashem, we had a Yeshua. Shouldn't that work for this as well? If Hashem can get me on a flight, which seems that it's impossible to make it, shouldn't He be able to help me fall asleep? And this is exactly what I did. I started saying, Eino Milvado, and before I knew it, I was asleep and waking up for the next day. And this taught me a very, very powerful lesson. We think that when we need something really big, like catching a plane that seems we're going to miss, or maybe you have a really important meeting, or maybe you have to take care of something very critical. Maybe it's a job meeting, maybe it's a date, maybe it's an appointment with a doctor, maybe it is a meeting with your wife. One of these four categories of important things that we always talk about. These are really important things. But small things like falling asleep, we think, that's routine. You lie down, you go in bed and you fall asleep. I don't really need God for that. This is a grave error. This is a great mistake. Because we need HaKadosh Baruch Hu for everything. And when it seems like there's a frontier, a area where we don't need Hashem, at that point, we have to realize that it's a very serious misunderstanding. We need Hashem for everything. From the biggest thing in our life, like catching a plane or an important meeting, or whatever it might be, to the smallest thing like falling asleep, or just breathing. Kol neshima v'neshima ta'alkoa. When a person is coughing their guts out, then they should recognize with great passion the veracity of this statement. Al kol neshima v'neshima ta'alkoa. Because when you can't breathe, that's when every breath of air is very, very precious. And the more we internalize this, the more we understand the erroneous nature of our thinking, right? The complete stupidity that we have sometimes, that we only need Hashem for big things. The more that we recognize this, the more that our lives will be filled with tranquility and with blessing. And all of the things that we take for granted, all the many, many gifts that we take for granted, we should be merit to have all the time to see Hashem's goodness in every single thing that we do. And turn to Him, not only when things are desperate. Right? Not only things, or I don't know, call it quadrant four. Quadrant four, the emergency situations where we need God suddenly. We turn for help. No, even the smallest things like falling asleep, like getting from point A to point B. If Chatzkel Levenstein was in America, he used to learn an hour of Musar before leaving his house to go to the base medrash because he felt it was a great sakana, it was great danger to walk one block in America because his spiritual his spiritual um, protection was challenged. We should also realize the in great importance every little thing that we do. We need Hashem's protection, and especially something like falling asleep, which is so important. If we don't sleep the whole night, we're wrecked the next day. Turn to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This is one of the reasons why we say Krish Malamita, Hamapil, and all the tefillahs beforehand. HaKadosh Baruch Hu should help us in His infinite mercy. He should rain down on us His kindness. We should bring it. We should bring it down and realize all the goodness that He bestows on us always, and to use Eino Milvado even in non-emergency situations to clarify our recognition of Him more and more in every single situation. Amen. Kain Tiratzon.